Hey y'all, and happy Independence Day 2026. Today I'm talking to you from beautiful Eastern Washington of the United States, and everything is in bloom. You've got roses, you've got lavender, even the spirea are in bloom. So it is a perfect time to be here. I'm very lucky. So I wanted to tell y'all about my experiences making the 2025 pattern from the Liberty Box. And I really like the Liberty Box from this year, and I wasn't able to do an unboxing. Actually, I had it all set up and then I got rained out. Everything was so wet. So I apologize that I wasn't able to do that this year. And I do really like the fabric that came in this year's Liberty Box. Now, I don't think I'm gonna make that whole quilt just because for this year, I really wanted to lean into the whole 250th anniversary of the United States thing. So I chose these fabrics. Now it's 250 Years by Deb Strain. There's a panel. And then I chose a couple fabrics. So this will be my light. This will be kind of a medium. I think I'm probably just going to use a plain navy for my dark, so I haven't bought that. And then I thought this was really fun. Has patriotic words on it. And then for binding, I thought this would be really fun. Can you just imagine that being the edge of the binding? That'll be nice. Okay, so that's what I want to do for this year, even though the 2026 fat quarters were very tempting for making that quilt. It was a little bit on the more abstract side, the pattern. So y'all let me know how you enjoy that for those of you that make the Liberty Box quilt for this year. First, I'll tell you about last year's. Okay, so, and if you didn't buy this pattern, don't worry about it. I have specifics about working this pattern, and I think it's really fun and pretty. But if you weren't able to buy this, there are tons of instructions on how to do sawtooth stars out there. So even if you weren't able to buy this particular one, I'm sure you'd be able to just throw something together, figuring out how much fabric you have and then working backwards to calculate how many sawtooth stars you can make with the geometry. Of course, adding in 1/4 inch seam allowances for everything. That's what I use. It's what most quilters use. So yes, sawtooth stars. All these sawtooth stars are really pretty, and I really enjoyed making it. I'll show you the quilt. So I have the quilt top. It took me a bit longer than I'd hoped, but you know, all good things take time, right? Here we go. Isn't that beautiful? I mean, that's so nice. I'm very proud of it. I think these are really beautiful fabrics. Okay, so if you make this quilt from that 2025 box, keep in mind these are directional. And I had started not cutting that specifically in a way that was going to make it possible to put all of this together and have the flags go upright. So that's what I would recommend. You know, if you have a directional, fabric, especially the flags here, because I think it really does make a difference in the final appearance of the star. And if you don't care about having all the flags pointing the same way, then, you know, don't worry about it. But if you want it to look like that, pay attention to what direction is up when you're cutting and assembling, of course. That was the number one thing that I actually had to go back and fix. Okay, so there were a couple things that I felt were mislabeled for me. So when you look at the cutting instructions, when it says parts A, I would cross out inner star and write in outer star tips. Okay? And on the cutting instructions where it says outer star, I would write center of stars. So I'm not sure why that was labeled the way it was, but I feel like this, if you change it to being what I suggest, I really feel like it is a lot easier to figure out. Here are your specifics. All right. Okay, so I made that note for myself. I think I will be using this pattern in the future. It's a nice pattern. And who doesn't love sawtooth stars? They're so classic. Okay. The other major thing is the center of my stars. All of them ended up being too big. Now, I checked and double checked. I measured and remeasured. I really feel like I was really close, if not actually on the money with precision cutting and sewing here and there. But I don't think that any of my stars, when being cut at 4 inches, this centerpiece, that was really working for me. So I wrote for myself, using this pattern in the future, I wrote change it to 3.75, and that makes everything so much easier. Everything worked way better. Okay, the downside of that is the final dimensions of your quilt would probably be smaller if you reduce the size of that center star, but I do feel like it made it so much easier. Is when my stars ended up too big, when the centers were too big when I was assembling, I tried various things. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just add some fabric to here. And in other places I was like, well, maybe I can stretch it. Which started I do that? Well, the stretching isn't terrible. I mean, after ironing. Still, I think it works way better to just make the stars 3.75 inches when you cut. And then everything seems to go together really well. The last couple stars that I did, where I did make those center squares 3.75 inches, those sawtooth stars went together really well. So I hope you all have a really amazing Independence Day, and that you are able to enjoy some place as gorgeous as this place is for me, and spend time with family and friends and loved ones, maybe do some barbecuing, maybe enjoy a pool or the lake, and yeah, happy crafting. Bye.